Hello and welcome back to Megaman Legacy Collection Part 4, and there's only two robot masters left, Skull the menacing looking Skullman and actually quite silly looking Dustman, and we're now going to fight the Dustman. Although he's not member of Dustman faction of Sigil, he's just a Dustman. Walking scrap machine. And that's the first time those shield things appeared again in Megaman series, and they become, if not the mascot enemy of this game, that's those mechs, hard hats or whatever. They are still quite prevalent and show up a lot. But Dustman's level itself is, well, it looks like a scrap heap, well, probably because it's probably meant to be a scrap heap. There's all kinds of stuff moving around, mobile things, those propeller things. Those things are probably quite dangerous. And of course there's some appearing platforms there. They are not disappearing, luckily. These are just appearing platforms. Although combined with these spinny things with quite wonky trajectories, they can be quite dangerous and unpleasant. Oh, let's see. Hello Eddie, what do you have here? Nothing test. Although, well, that is also death trap. Not interesting. I have enough lives. Come on. Third time's the charm. Alright. I get the hint. Well, I have 3 of those E-tanks. I don't think I'll be needing them, but they're much better thing to hoard than 1-ups. At least in my box. This part just is quite dull in the sense that you just have to shoot your way through this maze of scrap, which can be quite tedious knowing there's quite lots of it. And of course being smushed by that stuff is instant death. But luckily the scrap doesn't respawn, meaning you don't have to try to shoot all of them at one go. Which is good, because that would have been made that part much more difficult, if not impossible. And more scrap. And of course there's lots of different variations to those hard hat things. That one is a ballerina with that. And there's some burning scrap in here as well. Nothing too miraculous. But we're gonna go and now fight against Dustman himself. Using his weakness, the magnificent ring boomerang. Although the use of his weakness is not necessary to defeat him, as he has very simple and predictable pattern, and he isn't so dangerous. But he has an attack which makes him invincible for a while, and he likes to use it, which makes game a little bit tedious. So destroying him fast was not cowardice at all, it was just common sense. Once again we turn around to see that we don't have a nose. Dust crusher. We have a magnificently dull grey color, but it's appropriate for dust weapon. And there's only one robot master left, who actually in a sense is quite good choice for our first opponent to face. Actually, there's I think only Ringman and Pharaohman are the bad choices as a first robot master to tackle, and the others actually are quite equal in their level of difficulty. Of course, the fact that you have the Mega Buster makes it easier, but he does look scary. And of course, as he is a Skullman, his level is filled with bone. Of course, because Skull is the most prominent, most easily identifiable part of bones you can think of. Actually, I think the femur, or better say thigh bone, is more easily recognizable single bone, but skull. Yeah, well, you see a skull, you know it's a skull. Even if it's some animal, you don't even know what animal it is. You see a skull, you know it's a skull. Of course, if the animal does have a skull. If it does not have a skull, it's quite difficult to identify this. And lots of bats, shields, lots of combat in this level. And some sort of robots. What's the word? Thank you. Well, that's one word. Oh yeah, robot fossils in these. And there's a side path also, which is infested with fish shield things, which are quite annoying thing to deal with, but nothing impossible to face. And let's try to... Can I jump up there? No, I cannot, but let's... And wire can't take me up there, but of course I can use the balloon adapter which to take me up to there, and I can restore some of my lost health. I took that E-tank just because of a show it's there. I don't probably need it. And up we go again. That's also a good reason to start from Skullman's level, as in there is E-tank to get, which makes it quite easy, much easier. And there's even another E-tank, although that's a bit more a difficult spot, but I try to get that by using the rush jet. Give me some extra platforming space, which worked just fine. And of course there's quite difficult, impossible to jump up there, but you can of course slide and get it that way, because that if you try to jump you'll probably fall, but if you slide you just get a slightly little bit of momentum to get up through that gap. And now the sky... Oh, I jumped too early. Oh yes, they actually did amp up the difficulty in this game about platforming and something and such. Generally speaking, this is tougher than Megaman 3, at least in terms of platforming wise. Much more trickier jumps and carefully and unpleasantly placed enemies. Although I do learn. Thank you, but it does dole out one-ups like candy. Oh, but then again, now I'm gonna just do it much simpler way. And these are the sniper joes of this game, although I could call them to be bone joes, as they throw these bones, and if you shoot them with charge shot you destroy them with one hit, but if you shoot them with something else which doesn't destroy them with one hit, they crumble to a heap and are invincible until they rebuild themselves. And doing it that way takes a long time. And now we face the Skullman in this robot fossil room. But that's what he does. He jumps around, he puts up that shield, he shoots you with his gun. And yeah, he actually works quite reactively to you, meaning that you can't just take a pattern and keep dodging him endlessly. He's weak to Skullman's weapon, Dustman's weapon, I don't know why. And his weapon is a shield of skulls, which actually is not so useful weapon. Even as shield weapons usually in Megaman games are quite useless, that one is very useless such. And yes, I still wonder why he has no nose. Skull Barrier. I was wrong about the name, but it has a nice tone. And with Flash, we now see the mysterious and infamous Dr. Cossack, and we are about to go fight him next time. See you.